The wind bit through the early morning air in the Scottish Highlands, and a pale sun crept over the ridges of the mountains, drawing out mist from the loch below. At the edge of Loch Four, Sam stood, leaning into the chill, his boots planted into damp earth. His breathing came in sharp, shallow hits. He had always loved this place, its solemn quiet, its capacity to make trivial things seem distant, and yet nothing here, nothing in its mournful beauty, could calm the tempest roiling inside him. Caitríona Balfe stood across the loch, her figure slender and still. Her reflection, dented by the ripple of water, looked distant, remote. She had walked away already, but Sam could see her in his mind, the tilt of her head, the arch of her brows. He closed his eyes and scraped his cough. It sounded less like anger and more like agony. They had been friends for years, co-stars, confidants, people who shared the ridges of the same hills, so to speak. They had woven their lives together through press tours, late-night shoots, laughter backstage, the occasional tears. But today, something had cracked. A boundary Sam had never expected Caitríona would cross. The trouble began at dawn, though its seeds had been planted long before. Sam had been awake, restless, the night before, fighting off a cold that gripped him in coughing fits. He was supposed to be at a press event at noon in Edinburgh, tickets, photographers, interviews, everything. But Sam had hoped for a moment alone first, just time to gather his thoughts, restore himself. Caitríona, as always, seemed to be in that bright mode, chattery, kind, radiant. But lately, radiant had been rubbing him the wrong way. She had been more public, more visible, more casual with revealing things, some small, some larger, about their friendship. Last week, a magazine had asked about the friendship, about whether there was more than friendship. Caitríona had laughed and said, "Well, Sam is like a brother to me." Enough. That had pricked him like a needle. A brother? He wasn't her. Brother. He was something else. He didn't want to be just a friend in the public's eye. He didn't quite know yet what he wanted, but he felt hurt. This morning, when he got the text, "Hey, just posted something. Can't wait to see what everyone thinks," smiley face, from Caitríona, along with a screen grab of an Instagram story she'd just published, Sam paused. The story wasn't malicious. It wasn't spiteful. It was just a moment of them laughing, backstage at an event. But overlaid was the caption, "When your bestie keeps you sane, and looks good doing it. #mySam." He stared at his phone. My Sam. There was innocence in it, he told himself. There had always been moments like this, gentle teasing, affectionate gestures. But this felt public in a way that peeled away what he thought was private. He wished she hadn't used that phrase. Or at least asked him. Or understood that it meant more to him than she might realize. Sam tried to shake it off. He walked out into the damp morning, walked to the loch, hoping that the wind would carry off his irritation. But instead, all the small grievances, from months past, rose up inside him. The times she had divulged parts of his life he preferred private, the time she joked in an interview about us in a way that got fans talking, the night she joked to paparazzi that Sam would follow me anywhere, inside jokes, perhaps, but he felt exposed. When he had last asked her quietly if she could be more discreet about certain things, about what stories go out, what jokes cross into personal territory, she had just smiled, said, "You know me, Sam," and carried on. He liked her candor. He appreciated her optimism. But sometimes kindness needs limits, boundaries that respect another person's feelings. And he believed she had crossed them, today. By mid-morning, Sam had changed. His usual calm had hardened. His jaw was tight. He walked into the green room of the theater where they were both due to rehearse. Caitríona was perched on a windowsill, sipping tea, notebooks open. She looked up when he entered. "Morning," she said, brightness in her voice, oblivious. "Morning," he replied, voice low. She lowered her cup. "You okay? You look different." He frowned. "I saw your post." She blinked. "Which one?" He pulled out his phone and showed her the screenshot. "This one." She scrolled. She paused on the frame with them laughing backstage. She saw the caption. "Oh," she said quietly. "Sam, why didn't you ask me first?" He interrupted. "Why, my Sam, why make that public?" Caitríona's eyebrows knit. "Because I think of you that way. Ideographic period, that's the point." Sam forced the words out. "You think of me that way, fine. But I never asked for either that thought or the label to be shoved in people's faces." Caitríona set the cup down. Her lips parted, closing again. "You're mad at me for being kind?" "Some things aren't about kindness," he said. His heart pounded. "Some things are about respect. About privacy." "Sam, I didn't mean to disrespect you." She stood, smoothing her skirt. "I thought you'd be okay with it. I thought, you always laugh at those kinds of posts." "Laughing and being tagged as yours are different things," he said. He looked at her, not angrily, but with a sort of wounded intensity. "You didn't check, and that means you assume you can decide what people see of me. That you can decide how the world perceives us." Caitríona opened her mouth again, perhaps to apologize, perhaps to defend herself. She paused. The morning light through the window glinted off her hair. "I care about you," she said. "You're one of the most important people in my life." Sam's shoulders slumped. "Then protect me. Not from you. For you to protect me from overexposure." There was silence. The distant sound of traffic, footsteps. Caitríona looked at him, long, and then, something in her eyes. Regret. Realization. "I'm sorry," she said. "I really am." Sam didn't answer. He turned on his heel and left before he said something he'd regret. The rehearsals that day were stiff. Caitríona tried to catch his eye. He avoided her. Their on-stage chemistry, always so easy, so natural, felt brittle. Every line spoken felt like performed apology or accusation. Unspoken words hung between them. Later, during lunch, Sam walked outside to get fresh air. The Scottish sky threatened rain, the clouds heavy. Caitríona followed him, carrying a tray. "Can we talk?" she asked. He didn't look at her. He chewed his lip. The air smelled of earth and damp grass. "I didn't realize," she said, "how much it would mean to you. The boundaries, the labels." He nodded once. Because I didn't tell you, he said. Because maybe I didn't know exactly how much I cared. But I do. Caitríona stopped. Do you hate me? Her voice cracked slightly. No. He turned to her. I'm just disappointed, hurt. He paused. I feel like I lost control of part of myself. And it terrifies me. She swallowed. I never meant to hurt you. I meant to celebrate you. To show the world how proud I am to be your friend, what you mean to me. But celebrating me in silence is also possible, he said softly. Sometimes silence is loud enough. Caitríona nodded. She placed a hand on his arm, hesitated. He didn't pull away, though his muscles were tense. What do you need me to do? That evening, after the day's work, Sam met Caitríona at a small pub in the town, warm light inside, hearth, quiet tables. She waited at a corner table, shoulders relaxed but eyes wary. He sat across from her, ordered a whiskey, just one. She ordered tea. The waitress took her order, leaves. Sam looked at his glass. He touched its rim, then pushed it away. I didn't want to drink tonight, he said. Caitríona leaned forward. I wrote something today. She took something from her bag, her phone, turned to notes. Before we rehearse tomorrow, I want to ask you this. Will you let me be someone who listens more? Who checks with you first? Who understands that what's private to you is sacred? Sam looked at her. The golden light in the pub illuminated her face. Her eyes were earnest. He wanted to believe her. He wanted to trust. He said, yes, I want that, more than anything. She nodded. She met his gaze steadier. And I'll take down the post. Or at least, change it. Make it something you feel okay with. He exhaled, relief mixed with fear. Thank you. They sat, the clamor of the pub like a quiet echo, yet for that moment, something fragile, something healing, began to grow. Over the following weeks, things shifted. It wasn't easy. Boundaries sometimes slipped. There were mornings when Sam noticed something posted. He'd check, text her, can we look at this before it goes up? And sometimes she agreed, sometimes she pushed back, sometimes they compromised. Caitríona, for her part, became more attentive, gentler in interviews, slower to make jokes about us in public, more mindful of what Sam was comfortable sharing. She apologized in small ways, private messages, gentle touches, choosing captions without implied ownership. She realized that friendship, especially one threaded with public visibility, carried responsibilities. Sam wrestled too, with his expectations, with his pride. He realized that he had allowed some things unattended, had made peace with certain leaks of his life because confrontation felt difficult. But now he saw that talking, setting boundaries, was not weakness. It was honesty. But the path to healing is rarely straightforward. One evening, Caitríona received an invitation to attend a gala. It was glamorous, cameras would be there. Sam was invited too. She thought, this would be a chance to show the world that they were fine, still connected, still friends. She drafted a post, elegant photo of them together on the red carpet, captioned, at #Highland Gala with one of my greatest supports, my Sam. She paused. She wrestled with the words. My greatest support, felt different, less possessive. But, my Sam, still there. Habit, comfort, affection. She showed it to Sam in a text. The draft. She wrote, "What do you think? Too much?" Sam looked at the preview on his phone. The image looked beautiful, them dressed, candlelight behind. But the caption drew something tight in his chest. He typed, "Could we just do, with Sam Heughan, whose support means everything. Without the, my." Caitríona responded quickly, "But it feels less personal without my." Sam hesitated. Then, "Sometimes less personal in public is safer." Silence. Then, "I'll change it." They attended the gala. The night was bright, cameras flashing. She walked beside him down the red carpet. She turned to him once as they posed, and he gave her a small smile. Something soft passed between them. She mouthed, "Thank you," as they exited. He nodded. On a crisp morning a few months later, Sam received a link from a popular entertainment news website. He clicked it with a sense of dread. Headline: Caitríona Balfe opens up, "Sam and I are more than friends. I have loved him more than I've ever admitted." He stared. His hands shook. His heart hammered. The article included quotes from a private conversation, one he never meant to be shared. She had spoken to the journalist weeks ago, during a break, in confidence. She had said, "I care for him so deeply, I don't know what I'd do without him, and, sometimes I think he feels the same, and more." Things Sam had never intended to become part of the public narrative. He felt blindsided, betrayed, not simply because of what she said, but because he had believed she understood that certain pieces of his heart were hers alone to hold, not to parlay in public to serve sentiment or headlines. He drove, no destination, just wheels on dark roads, lock glittering moonlight. His hands clenched on the wheel. Images flashed in his mind, interviews, jokes, posts. He thought, "I told her." She listened, but did she hear me? He returned home, collapsing onto the couch. The silence settled around him heavy and suffocating. He stared at the ceiling. He imagined Caitríona beside him, apologetic, eyes soft. But also proud. Proud of her words. Proud of her vulnerability. He thought, this is it. This is the moment she finally went too far. He spent the rest of the day in muted fury. Not the loud kind, but the kind of anger that feels like being strangled, every breath labored. Every memory of Caitríona's gentle voice now had an edge. Every shared laugh felt like it had a hidden agenda. He texted her, short, "Call me." She replied quickly, "Just got your message. On set. Can't talk until later. I'm so sorry." But Sam didn't want an apology over text. He wanted acknowledgement. He wanted respect. He wanted privacy preserved, trust upheld. When she finally called, his tone was cold. "Did you mean for that article to go live?" "Yes." Caitríona's voice trembled. "I thought, maybe it was time. I thought you'd understand." "I told you how I felt. That there are things I don't want public. I asked. Before. I trusted you. I do understand. I do hear you. Her voice cracked. I got caught up. Sam's breath rattled. My feelings aren't something to be gotten up around. They aren't props. More silence. The line between them stretched, taut. She said, "What do you want me to do, Sam?" He thought, "What do I want? Silence? Erasure? A retraction? Forgiveness?" He said, "Take it down. All of it. And stop saying things, leaks, confessions, that you haven't run by me. I know you think you're being brave. But you're hurting me." "I can do that," Caitríona said. "I'm sorry. I should have asked. I will take it down." Sam closed his eyes. Something released, but part of him stayed braced, shaken. "Thank you." The retraction came the next morning. Caitríona posted a message. "I shared something I believed from my heart. But I crossed a line, one that belongs to Sam. I apologize. That was never my intention." The comments flooded, supportive ones, critical ones, some confusion. Sam saw them from backstage before a performance. His heart pounded. He watched audiences, cameras, lights. He wondered how many people saw that and judged him for being hurt, for being human, for not wanting every piece of his inner life displayed. Caitríona reached out. She visited his trailer, brought tea, sat with him in dim lamp light. She didn't say much, just listened. He admitted to her, "I feel embarrassed, exposed, like I failed somehow, like I should have made myself heard sooner." She took his hand. "I should have seen sooner. I know, and I will be more careful." Weeks turned into months. The article became a distant memory, a lesson. Sam and Caitríona found balance again. Their friendship resumed its strong, familiar rhythm. They joked again, on stage, backstage. Caitríona's laughter returned, less brash, more aware. Sam's smiles returned, softer than before. They established boundaries, private phone calls, asking each other before posting photos, not discussing certain personal topics in interviews. Sometimes they stumbled, sometimes Caitríona slipped into old habits, sometimes Sam recoiled at unintended exposure. But each time, they paused, spoke, adjusted. One late summer evening, they walked the shore of Loch Four together, sunset bleeding pink and gold across sky and water. The air was warm, damp with moss. The loch was mirror smooth. Caitríona stopped, picked up a pebble, tossed it into water. The splash echoed. Sam turned to her. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" she asked. "For listening. For being brave enough to apologize. For loving me in the way that doesn't break me." She nodded. Tears glinted in her eyes, but she smiled. "I love you, Sam. More than I probably should, but I do." Sam swallowed. He felt peace. It was simple, hard-won, not perfect, but real. Later, in the quiet of night, Sam sat by his window, the highlands dark, stars sharp above. He thought about how thin the line had been between public friendship and private identity. How easy it is to let affection spill into claim. How dangerous it is when words meant to be given freely are assumed to bind. He understood now that people, even those we love dearly, will sometimes cross the lines we never expected. Not out of malice, often out of love. But love is complicated. He forgave Caitríona, because he believed in her goodness. Because he saw her efforts. But more importantly, he forgave himself, for being slow to speak. For being wounded. For being human. In the end, Sam realized that the anger had served a purpose. It carved out space in their friendship. It made visible what had been unspoken. It demanded respect, not silence. And at dawn, when he finally slept, he dreamed of still water, mist rising, light dancing at the edge, and of Caitríona's laughter echoing, light, true, belonging.